Hi, Mr. Muhittin. Thanks for your time. So, could you briefly tell us about Uzbekistan's main goals in space? What is the long-term vision after 2025, and how do you plan to move forward together with neighboring countries?
Well, thank you very much for inviting for this interview. It's an honor to be here. And well, if I answer to this question, let me start with the space itself. You know that currently in the modern lifetime, nobody can see their lives, the country's development without the high technologies. And the space as a part of the high technology is taking more and more bigger part in our life. If we just watch to the numbers, the space economy this year, many have different numbers, but it definitely exceeded $500 billion. And in the next 10 years, it's going to be reaching up to $2 trillion. It means that the space is becoming a huge part of our daily life in terms of social and economical. Of course, Uzbekistan, as an emerging country, has the ambitions and willingness to develop their space policy, space ecosystem, the industry. Within the last 5 years, we've concentrated mostly on the topics which were specifically useful for the benefit of the economy, of the people of Uzbekistan. We've proved to the government and to the people of Uzbekistan that space could be a true part of the social economical life of Uzbekistan. So what we've started is, we've started to use the existing data from the remote sensing constellations, from telecommunications and the others, for the benefit of the country. One of the biggest achievements we had is so-called State Space Monitoring Program. We have launched this program with the help of the government. The space agency is acting as an independent source of information. By using the satellite images, we are watching what is happening in 8 different economical sectors, like agriculture, we are monitoring crops, vegetation, everything, geology for illegal mining activities, land management and the illegal usage of the land, ecological situation, forestry, water usage, and the others. So with this, we are helping the government to minimize the illegal actions, increase the awareness of the government of what is happening in the country, and the most important thing is taking the economy from the gray zone. So this was our first part. Now, since we have shown to the government that the space is an active part of the country, we are started to invest into, let's say, classical space, the space which our parents dreamed for, right, long ago. Now we are investing to the education. We are trying to implement space-related topics to our education on the school level, on the university level. We are sending a number of students to the top 100 universities in the world for the capacity building, so that when they will come, they will forge the space ecosystem in Uzbekistan. More, we are doing different events like Space Camp, CanSat competitions, and the others. The reason is to increase the interest of the youth. The main topic for us right now is to increase, let's say, the technological youth in Uzbekistan. Because at the end of the day, when you see the developed countries, any of these countries are based on the technology, on the high tech. So if we want to have a developed society, we need to invest into the technology. And the space could be interesting, let's say, a door entrance to bring them to this topic. Of course, we are interested on going for the infrastructural investment. Right now, we are starting to consider our own satellite constellation topic, ground segment, and the very important part is also the international cooperation, because the space, as you know, doesn't have any borders. So for us, cooperation in the international arena is a very, I would say, important part. So, yeah, very shortly, this is the answer.
So, which countries are you currently working with the space cooperation. Are there any key international partnership, either technical or political?
So yeah, what we are doing is all about the technology and science, and of course we are trying to be cooperating with the as well as emerging countries and the developed countries. Of course, there are several, let's say, higher level countries which have the top, let's say, industrial development in terms of the space. It's like US, China, Russia, France, and the others, Japan, for example. We have connection with all of them. But we're also trying to establish a connection and deeper cooperation with emerging countries. First of all, within the umbrella of the Turkic states. So for us, cooperation with our neighbors, with our brother nations is, of course, in the priority. We also have the very good relationship with our, let's say, friends from Middle East, like UAE, Space Agency, Turkey, European organizations. So we are mostly active in every, let's say, field of the space. We become a part of the UN committee for the space. It's called CAPOS. We become a member of the International Aeronautical Federation, and we are trying to be active in all these, let's say, organizations.
Where does Uzbekistan currently stand in terms of building or launching satellites? Are you planning to develop your own satellites? Are you relying on foreign partners, maybe?
The topic of the satellite is very, I would say, sensitive and interesting. The reason why it is sensitive because in Uzbekistan, for example, everybody was asking us when you're going to be launching your own satellite. Launching the satellite is not an issue. Using the satellite, I mean, making a productive thing, that's the problem. So we were not speeding up the process of launching the satellite because we were not understanding, I mean, we didn't have the market for the utilization of the data. Would it be a remote sensing satellite or the communication satellite? You need to have a customers. Otherwise, the satellite has its lifetime. It has an investment, and after, let's say, 5, 6, or 10 years, the satellite needs to be deorbited. So you're wasting your investment. So this is why, as I said before, we concentrated on the downstream application. We wanted to understand the capacity of the market of Uzbekistan, where we need to be concentrating. Right now, we have a clear understanding what are our needs, where we need to invest, and where we can develop. So right now, of course, we are considering a project of the remote sensing constellation. Definitely, this is going to be done with the help of our international partners, because we're talking about a very high technological level product. And here, support of the developed countries is important and I would say crucial.
Is there any plan to build a shared space data platform with other Central Asian countries? And could this be useful for things like climate change, agriculture, or water management?
Mm-hmm. For us, cooperation between the Central Asian countries is one of the priorities. And our exchange, the capacity building, the technological transfer which we are doing between us is helping to both of us. For example, if we talk about our cooperation with Azerbaijan specifically, we started with the signing of memorandum in 2022. It was signed in Tashkent, by the way. And from this time, we started our very productive cooperation. Last year, we've signed an agreement on monitoring the salinity of the soil. It was a small pilot project between the Space Agency of Uzbekistan and Azerbaijan, but it was dedicated for capacity building and as a product to see the level of salinity of the soil. So this is directly has a connection to the environmental topic you've touched. The Central Asia as a region has the unique history, and they are binded for the future. You cannot divide one country from the another, would it be from the ecological part, would it be from the water, food security, even cultural part. So this is the reason why we, in the Space Agency, and the other space agency always are talking and trying to bring to the table some kind of interesting joint projects. For example, right now we are talking about launching a water resource monitoring program for the Central Asia, because in our region there is two rivers, it's Amu Darya and Sirdarya, and these both rivers are feeding all 5 countries. So all 5 countries are taking water from these rivers. So it is in our interest to manage this water properly. It is in our interest to see how the things are going on, because if we will not manage it properly, the water is a resource of life. If there will be no water, the game is over. So this is why we need to be very serious on this part, and I think the idea of joining the effort is very important.
So that's all for now. Thanks for your time again, Mr. Mukasey.
Thank you very much.